It's me, Tim Dodd, the Everyday Astronaut. Hi, everyone. I hope you guys have had a wonderful, I don't know, what is this, month since we did all, when was that? New Glenn was the last launch I did. As you know, I've been trying to this year has been like, let's try to do one a month, because that's kind of the old schedule was one a month, and just figured, here's a fun one. I haven't been able to cover a Rocket Lab launch in quite a while. I don't really know why. Just been traveling. It's just been like the worst timing for me to try to do a Rocket Lab launch. And today, it's great timing. So, yeah, let's watch a Rocket Lab launch. It's just been a long time for me. So let's do that. And I hope you guys are doing fantastic. Remember, if you guys want your questions answered on air, just leave them in the comments. Make some comments. We'll have a little bit of time here between now and when the stream goes live. So ask away. We'll probably chit chat for a little bit. I'll give you a little rundown on what we're going to be seeing today. And then we'll probably talk a bit afterwards. So cue your questions up. I'm just here to kind of hang out. It seems like a good time. Let's go over kind of the pre-launch preview. But as you probably know, we don't really do those anymore. But we do have something that I think honestly is much better. We have nextspaceflight.com. I've actually always used this as an app. It does a little reminder. You can get notifications of upcoming rocket launches. They've always done such a good job. These are just an awesome app and awesome website. So nextspaceflight.com, and you can see what we're looking at here today. This is the Electron, Rocket Lab's Electron launch. We're still a little ways away from the beautiful Neutron launching, but there's actually they have some awesome videos coming out lately. They are launching the Electron today, which is, of course, the only orbital launcher they currently have online. This one is launching from the Māhia Peninsula in New Zealand. So if you're a Kiwi, you won't really see anything today because I'm pretty sure it's daytime there right now. So you won't be able to Electron's so small and it's so far away, so remote from anyone. If you're in Auckland or something, there's just no way you're going to really be able to see it. But if you happen to be really close there, go check it out. But this is launching south, so it's going into a polar orbit out of the launch complex there. But here's what I think is interesting. One of the reasons that made me kind of go, ooh, I'm excited I can stream this one. Well, one, I wanted to watch the stream anyway and catch up with Rocket Lab. But the other one was this is their record-breaking launch of the year at 19 launches this year. Now that's getting pretty darn good. I still would like to see that pace pick up personally, because we're now seeing SpaceX doing, over 150. Don't mean to always compare everything to SpaceX, but that does set some kind of precedence. But they have been picking up their pace a lot, especially I feel like the second half of this year has just been like a very steady growth. And I like to see that because they have enough launch sites. They have a production line that seems like they have all the things put together to be able to do these in pretty rapid succession. So for me, I'm excited that this is the 19th Rocket Lab mission of the year. It's the 77th Electron mission overall. So it's getting up there. It's going to have flown, more than a lot of other rockets. Historically, it's flying, I'd say outside of the Falcon 9 probably, it's flying faster than any other rocket has to date as far as orbital. So that's good. I like these trends. I like these trends in the industry. I like seeing companies succeed, and I like seeing companies make good products and putting out good services. So, yeah, the other fun thing here is this is the 300th orbital launch attempt of the year, and we're not even done with the year yet. So, smashing last year. What were we last year? 220 something, I think. So, yeah, absolutely, again, crushing. I know they already broke the record. It was 16. I thought they did 18 last year. Oh, I thought they did 18, so I thought this was the record-breaking one, was 19. My bad. Why did I think it was 18? Well, regardless, it's still record-breaking, just more record-breaking. So that's exciting, though. Like I said, it's still showing progress. So, yeah, I just thought that was fun. And again, like I said, I haven't really been able to stream a Rocket Lab launch in a while, and I miss last time I caught up with them is I like seeing the little things they add in their in their live streams, little updates that they just kind of sprinkle in there. So hopefully we get some new information. They did have, let me see here. Let me go to my mug here quick while I look. They did have a really fun, where was this? Let me show you what they posted recently. So I thought this was pretty cool. They actually posted, let's see, where is that? The fairing. Come on, come on, come on. There's been a lot of stuff since then. Oh, the Hungry Hippo fairing. Okay, here we go. I don't know if you guys caught this at all, but this is pretty exciting to me. They showed off their, you won't really be able to hear this, and I probably shouldn't anyway because it's probably copyright music. Sorry. So this is the top fairing and the top basically portion of the Neutron rocket, which is it's a big chonker. This is a big one. This is one of my favorite concepts here for fairing reuse, is just keep the fairings attached to the booster. But interestingly, it means the second stage has to hang down inside of this entire structure. So the booster has a lot of additional dry mass compared to a standard booster, but it's made out of carbon fiber. It's carbon composites. It's relatively lightweight. And hopefully this just enables them to be able to do rapid reuse. And I think it's really cool. So yeah, I think that's cool. I like seeing that kind of stuff. This is one of my favorite concepts. Back when they announced Neutron, is the idea that the whole upper half basically, has the opening fairing like that. And then the fact that they can just recover that with the booster. I think that's really cool and really fun. So let's see here. Let's answer a few of your guys' questions. And again, thank you so much for you guys hanging out, including Mr. Jamington becoming a member. Thank you so much. Memberships are amazing. You guys keep the lights on. Let's see here. Dingbats6213. Hey Tim, did you tell you anything new about what happened to the version 3 mishap investigation yet? I didn't tell myself anything that happened. It frankly just sounds like it was a COPV failure of some kind. Not sure why they're having so many COPV failures. I don't know. They've been surprisingly quiet about this one, which is a little bit of a bummer as far as, if you're unfamiliar, when SpaceX's booster, the first V3 booster, luckily it didn't have engines on it, so it's not going to delay them that much. It's not hopefully that huge of a setback, but I don't know. I just don't love, when that kind of stuff happens. So any kind of failure like that is not ideal. So yeah, I don't have any more information about that, and I don't know. We will see. Let's see. This is from Havalapula or something. Sorry, totally botched that one. Why is Rutherford engine special? So the Rutherford engine, which is here we go. Rocket Lab is live now, by the way. So I'm going to get this ready on screen. I'm going to get ready to have them up. I'll keep their audio kind of quiet for now, just so we don't get a copyright strike. Give me 1 second here. I'm going to get this all pulled up too. And before they start I'll answer this question in 1 second. Before they start, I did want to do one quick reminder. Astro Awards 2025. We've almost completely sold out of our very top tier, which has a few other VIP meet and greets and gathering opportunities. Our orbital tickets are half sold out already. If you're free January 17th and 18th, come down to Austin, Texas. Hang out with a bunch of people for 2 full days of panels, speeches, the actual award ceremony itself, live music, and a DJ. And Scott Manley is going to be DJing and throwing a party. It's going to be awesome. It's bigger and better than last year and the year before. And we're going to have a ton of exhibits and people in the community and the aerospace industry coming and attending. So it's going to be awesome. And I'm excited. So you better get on these tickets before we sell out of them. Because I know the FOMO is going to ramp up. That's how it goes every year. It's kind of goes like this, and then all of a sudden, next thing you know, the top tickets are all sold out, and we run out of space at the end. So if you do want to join us, you have about 38 days, but I would probably get on those tickets sooner than later. AstroAwards.live, January 17th and 18th, Austin, Texas. All right, now that this is queued up here and live, we will be watching this. I'll answer what is so special about the Rutherford engine. So the Rutherford engine is unique. It was one of the first fully, pretty much fully 3D printed main, booster engine like that. Because typically you think of a booster engine as being huge, Merlin scale, Raptor scale, F1, RS-25, large booster engines. This rocket's so small they could 3D print the entire combustion chamber in a pretty standard 3D printer. So that's cool. It also is electric pump fed. So instead of using a gas generator or some other turbine or some way to power the pumps, because the pumps require hundreds or thousands or hundreds of thousands of horsepower, seriously. to be able to spin the kind of flow rates that we're dealing with here and to get the propellant inside of a combustion chamber. The scale of this worked out where Rocket Lab said, what is the easiest way to get into orbit without developing crazy, turbines and without developing turbo pumps and all this stuff? They basically said, well, electronics are getting pretty good. We're getting pretty good at motors, and battery energy density in batteries is maybe high enough now that we could actually build an orbital rocket and use electric pump-fed pumps. So that's exactly what they do. They actually just literally use lithium-ion batteries and, spin basically like it's not that big of a motor. That's what's crazy. It's like a large soda can size motor with hundreds of horsepower. And they just run it off of electricity. And that is able to provide enough pressure to feed that combustion chamber. So for both the liquid oxygen and the RP1, so the Carolox. And I think that's really cool. It's a really interesting concept. Most people didn't think it'd be viable because it doesn't necessarily scale well to a large scale vehicle. You wouldn't want to do that for a Falcon 9. It probably wouldn't have the margins. But they also then coupled that with carbon composite structure. So they're the first carbon rocket to go orbital. And then the other one was that was really cool too, was that they ditched the batteries on the second stage. We'll see that on today's launch. Midway through, they kind of do a hot stage swap, basically, the batteries, and they ditch some of the dead weight, because that's one of the big things with batteries. Not only is their energy density, not as great as RP1 or kerosene, it's like 20 times less. It's like 5% of the energy density, so it means they weigh 20 times more for the same amount of energy, but they also don't deplete, so they don't get lighter. So every other, if you're using a turbine and you're using, even if you're using a gas generator, you're just dumping it open cycle, at least that's getting lighter. You're not carrying that energy, that spent energy on board still. You're dumping it overboard, so you're making it lighter. That's been another thing they had to overcome. So ditching the batteries was actually really clever. Hope there's your rant on why the Rufford engine is really cool. Let's see. Off topic is all right. We're just hanging out here. So thoughts on SpaceX going public. I hope the whole company doesn't go public. Sounds like there's definitely rumors of by the end of next year having some kind of IPO or spinoff. I would love if it was like a Starlink option, like spin off Starlink as a separate IPO. I think that'd be really cool because it could still give a lot of autonomy for SpaceX to do what they do. Although I think they would make it so there's still certain shareholds and all that stuff would work out that they ultimately would have the authority to still do whatever they want. But this is good news. The stream is going live, and I'll answer a few more of you guys' questions. But like I said, I'm mostly... this is awesome from Jebediah Kerman. Nice, dude. Yes, I'm glad you're going to be going to the Astro Awards. That is fantastic. I will definitely see you there. New album is not out yet. We'll be doing a pre-save here hopefully in the next week or two. And then 2 singles will come out. And then hopefully it'll either be out by the end of the year or early January. So publishing might take a little longer than I expected because they're really busy this time of year apparently. So yeah. All right. This is time to listen in.
Hello and welcome to launch day. It is early afternoon in New Zealand as we count down to today's launch from Pad A at Rocket Lab Launch Complex 1 on the Māhia Peninsula. And we are 6 hours into launch preparations at the pad and in range control and mission control, with T-minus 17 minutes and counting on the clock to lift off for our 19th launch of the year. So thank you for joining us. My name is Muriel Baker and I'm here with Kim Thompson from our Neutron Structural Analysis team to take you through today's launch for the Career Advanced Institute of Science and Technology, known as KAIST.
Thanks, Muriel. It is great to be here for this beautiful summer's day on New Zealand's east coast. What a stunner. You know what? Now, today's mission will deploy a single satellite called NEONSat 1A for KAIST. It's heading to a 540-kilometre low Earth orbit on a southern trajectory from New Zealand out over the Antarctic at a 97.4 degree inclination. Now, we've called this one Bridging the Swarm after we launched the beginning of the Swarm mission for KAIST in April last year. That one kicked off their planned constellation of satellites to capture near real-time imagery of the Korean Peninsula. Now, NEONSat 1A will link communications between that first satellite and the next 10 that will form their constellation, hence the name Bridging the Swarm.
KAIST's mission is to build a constellation that can image the Korean Peninsula multiple times a day. And the constellation's operators will use AI to combine satellite data with existing information that will help them to track natural disasters like earthquakes and forest fires and respond quickly to national security events. And as the countdown clock draws on, let's take a closer look at the NeonSat constellation.
Probably gonna get copyright strikes there, so I have to mute it. And this is our time to watch a little animation and I talk over it. So let's see here. Kind of on topic here on stuff. One of my thoughts on putting data centers in space, pipe dream or real sales pitch, we'll call it. Yeah, pipe dream or pipeline. Nice. Okay, I see what you did. I don't quite get the thermal considerations, and I'll have to talk to someone that knows a lot more about this than I do. But that's one of the things is you can't just blow a fan over your GPUs and expect it to cool off. You have to have big giant radiators. Uh-oh. Okay, good. I was like, was that me? You have to have giant radiators, and you can only do radiative heat dispersion is effective in space. You just need good sized things, but I just don't quite get how that works in the loop. The thing that I actually do think is really clever is right now, think about what it actually takes to build a data center. Think about all of the land acquisition and the rights and the power lines and all this, water and all the stuff you have to do to actually manage a data center. Imagine just kind of throwing something up in space, Starlink style, and it's just there. It might actually be cheaper. And if it's cheaper and it has like unlimited power because they can just use the solar panels, yeah, that's great. So, if you think about it right now, something like, 98% of the solar used on, say, Starlink can be used just for the communication, for the bandwidth, the processing of all that stuff and the physical power to transmit communication. And only about 2% of that is needed for propulsion needs. And station keeping and other avionics and all that stuff. So a lot of the power can go into, you could scale that in a way that it might make sense to put all that power into compute. I would prefer we get that stuff off of Earth, in my opinion. It sounds like, the cost of electricity is going through the roof. It sounds like, it's causing, I don't want to say trauma, but definitely sounds like some people are being affected by massive data centers with noise and wastewater. If it can solve those things, I'm all for it. I think, and the market will show us that. I'm sure. I guarantee as soon as it happens, and I think it'll happen sooner rather than later. I guarantee they're running those numbers right now. Like, hey, we can do this, and even if it's 2% cheaper now, or even if it's on par now, it's only going to get cheaper. Whereas Earth-based construction, there's not a good mechanism to get it cheaper. So.
Is a collaboration across multiple Korean academic, industry and research institutions, including SATRIC, the Korean Aerospace Research Institute, and the Korean government's Ministry of Science and ICT.
Okay, it is T minus 12 minutes, 50 seconds and counting on the clock. And we are heading into the final check of pre-launch operations with the go, no-go poll run out of mission control. Now, today's launch director, Julia Wembacher, will poll our launch operators to check that all systems, personnel and range conditions are ready for liftoff. This is our final decision point before proceeding to launch, and we are looking out for all goes once that poll begins at T minus 12 minutes. So let's bring up the audio channels now and listen in.
I like how it seems to be fairly routine for them too. Not even all the consoles are being filled on today's launch, when back in the day.
To all operators, LD on mission code. We are proceeding with a go-no-go sequence, starting off with stage.
Stage is go.
Avionics.
Avionics is go.
GNC.
GNC is go.
Beacon.
Beacon is go.
T1.
D1 is go.
GC.
GC is go.
PLS.
PLS is go.
RSO.
RSO is go.
MET.
MET is go.
MM. Let's go. LD sub. LD sub go. The go-no-go sequence is complete. We are currently T-minus 11 minutes and 18 seconds and counting. We are go for terminal count auto sequence at T-minus 10 minutes. From this time, the freeware procedure is in effect.
Fantastic. As you just heard, we are green and good to go for today's mission. Electron and our operators are ready to proceed with the final countdown sequence to launch. Now, this mission will be our 19th Electron launch of the year, the 15th to lift off from Launch Complex 1, and the second in 2 weeks from the same launch pad. It has been a record year for our rocket, with more missions launched this year than we've ever flown annually, and we're on track to extend that record even further with today's launch for KAIST.
And at T-minus 10 minutes, 32 seconds and counting to liftoff, operations are proceeding nominally at Pad A. And we lifted Electron vertical around 5 hours ago when preparations began for today's flight. Kerosene loading began soon after Electron went vertical, and the weather balloon data from earlier in the count told us that we are 85% favourable for launch today, with clear skies and low ground winds.
Love to hear it.
As that countdown continues, it's time to take you through the Electron rocket on the pad for today's mission. This is our 77th Electron launch vehicle overall, and it's designed to carry up to 300 kilograms to orbit per launch. Electron stands 18 metres or 59 feet tall with a diameter of 1.2 metres, and most of the tanks and structures are made up of carbon composite. This is a lightweight but very strong material that brings down the mass of Electron without sacrificing its structural integrity. At the top of the rocket within its nose cone is Electron's kick stage, our orbital transfer vehicle, and that is what KAIST satellite is attached to. We use this platform to accurately place the payload exactly where it needs to be on orbit. And for missions like KAIST that are focused on collecting images of precise locations, specific orbital placement is everything. And that's exactly what Electron's kick stage is designed to deliver.
As we make our way down the rocket across stages 1 and 2, there we go, we use our own 3D printed Rutherford engines. And stage 2 has one Rutherford engine that is modified for spaceflight, while the longer and heavier stage 1 has 9 Rutherford engines at the bottom. Now at liftoff, these engines produce 50,400 pounds of thrust to get Electron off the launch pad and onward to space. And each one of these 10 engines are powered by high voltage batteries, which provide power to the LOX and kerosene pumps for the engine's high pressure combustion. They are the first of their kind to use this kind of propulsion system, and with today's launch, almost 800 of these engines have been made and flown since Electron's first launch in 2017.
That's crazy.
Now, speaking of first launches, alongside our record year of Electron missions, the team has been laser focused on preparing to launch Neutron, our much larger and reusable rocket that's scheduled to debut next year. Neutron is more than twice the height of Electron and about 6 times as wide at the base, and like Electron, Neutron is made of carbon composite as well. That will make it the world's largest carbon composite rocket that's ever launched when it takes to the skies from its test, launch and landing site on Wallops Island in Virginia.
Now, to power a rocket that big to deliver 13,000 kilograms of payload to space, you need a powerful rocket engine to take it there. And while we build and test Archimedes in NASA's Stennis Space Center in Mississippi, we are looking for the best and brightest talent to help us out. So let's take a quick look at what goes on at our Archimedes engine test complex.
Yeah, of course. Well, that's exciting. You know, we knew they've been on track here for a little while. They've said 2026. Really do hope that actually holds. Neutron is definitely Neutron to me. Obviously, I'm excited about Starship always, but Neutron's another one that I'm really excited for, as well as Nova, which is what Stoke is working on. Those are kind of the rockets that I'm probably most excited for. I'm also excited for Relativity's Terran R, New Glenn flying, especially if New Glenn does a bigger version. That's going to be extremely exciting. I mean, New Glenn already is pretty awesome. We have a lot of cool vehicles actually coming up that I think all are pretty, disruptive and pretty capable. I think Neutron has a really good place to properly compete with Falcon 9. Would love to see that. A lot of it comes down, for these guys. This is the first time that Rocket Lab's built a turbo-powered instead of using, electric-powered pumps. they're using a turbine. So they're having to develop, that whole power pack, which is very different. But the good thing is nowadays there's a talent pool. Like, back in the day, 10, 15 years ago, there was a small handful of people that had ever even remotely worked on a turbopump. And nowadays, there's probably 100 times the amount of people have put their hands on turbopump hardware than 10 years ago. Just because of the explosion in the industry of building and working and operating these vehicles. So there is some precedence there. I love seeing it. Let's see here. Let's answer a few more questions while we're waiting on this. Do I still do the podcast? No. So it just didn't get any numbers like that. This is kind of the idea for me, is like, it's honestly easier for me just to watch a rocket launch and talk and catch up on current things than it is for me to do the podcast, and we'll get more people watching. So
it is so cool. Those hot fire shots are absolutely amazing, and it must be incredibly exciting to be on that team, bringing Archimedes to life. Now, just remember, for scale, the Archimedes engine has nearly 30 times the thrust of Electron's Rutherford engines. It is a beast. So if you're interested in getting up close and personal with our new engine, make sure you take a look at the open jobs on our website at rocketlabcorp.com.
Pointing it up, flaming it down, my friends. Great view for that. Pointy, and although it's always confusing with New Zealand, upside down, but yeah, that's a beaut. I really do. I've always appreciated Electron. Let's see here. Do you think that B-19, so Starship B-19, the booster, will be done by the end of the year? I don't know. I don't know if it matters. It looks like, I'm feeling like there's still several months worth of work between the vehicle side and the ground side.
While we were playing that video of Archimedes, the operators in Mission Control called a hold, and so we're going to listen in to learn more now.
I didn't even notice that. Not necessarily scrubbed, just holding. I believe they have a decent... I actually don't recall their launch window today. But I feel like they normally have a bit of a launch window.
LD stage on mission.
Stage LD.
Stage terminal board checks complete. LD GC on mission.
Copy. GCLD.
The stage 1 igniter vehicles are primed.
Copy.
Maybe they had a ground side issue with the umbilicals or something. Did he say the ground side umbilicals are prepped? Insinuating they weren't before, maybe? That's just total speculation here. Waiting, of course, to hear the official word from those in charge. But that's what I gathered. We're talking for half a second.
T1 LD mission code.
LD-T1.
Please book a ground station coverage for the end of the window. Let me just confirm the caller cutouts for you.
Copy.
Targeting the end of the window, so I guess we'll find out what the window is here. Yeah, the Strongback did grab back onto the rocket, which is not a great sign, but if they're going to hold for 30 minutes or something, maybe that's the right option.
LD of next mission.
LD and mission code.
Next terminal checks are complete.
Copy.
Boy, that was fast. I missed that. Sheep cam. Just wanted to show the sheep. Well, Did anyone else hear? I didn't catch. I mean, hopefully the host will update us here relatively soon on whether or not this thing's going to be flying tonight. Well, or today for them. God, that is such a gorgeous launch site, though. Can't argue with that.
LD GCL mission.
GCLD mission.
LV secured on the pad and ECS enabled.
Copy.
For those joining, we don't know the reason for the hold, and we don't know if it's a full scrub for the day. Currently, it's just a hold. They have not updated us. We're trying to listen to the little bits here from the mission directors and from launch control there to let us know what's going on, but we haven't got any real updates. We're kind of just hearing the sequences to get it back into a held position. But I don't know. For those that say that New Zealand's more than sheep, I saw that comment. I know, it's just literally the camera panned down and there were sheep. So it's just like, of course, is sheep cam. I know there's a lot more in New Zealand than sheep. There's rockets. You got rockets. You have a drone. Actually, yeah, a little drone flying out there. Hopefully that's not a bad sign. I don't know. No idea. Could be weather. This is a good question here from Liam, the rocket nerd. Did they ever confirm or deny whether or not they're going to deploy the fairing on the way? Oh, of course.
While operators are assessing the reason for the hold, it's worth pointing out that today's launch does not have to happen in an instantaneous window. We have just under 30 minutes remaining in today's window, which gives us just enough time for a recycle attempt.
And the weather remains green, payload is healthy, so let's just sit tight to see if operators reset the clock.
Cool. That's good. I like that. I can deal with that. So this question about if they're going to open the fairing on the way down to act as an air brake, referring to Neutron, the Neutron rocket we were talking about earlier, where the fairing does split open and stays attached to the booster. I had asked Peter Beck that a while ago, and he basically said during the majority of descent phase, even if you have those open like that, it doesn't actually interact with the oncoming airstream because the bow shock, like when a booster is going supersonic, basically you can open those fairings and they won't even touch the airstream, and you don't necessarily want them to. It would take a lot of thermal protection considerations.
Control operators, LDN mission coach, just heads up. We are trying to recycle for the end of the window, so that is local time. 2:21:44. We still have quite a lot of steps to do, so it's a bit unclear if we will manage in time, but we're on it.
Okay. So we have about 23 minutes, 22 minutes for them to get this thing off the ground. And mentioning quite a few steps left to go, so I wonder if...
And to all operators, LDN mission code, please continue to monitor your critical systems and be prepared for go no-go call on restarting of the count.
Yep, might be a scrub for today, depending on how big
Okay, we
this...
heard it there from Mission Control that the team is looking to target the end of today's launch window at around 2:21 p.m. local time while they work through the remainder of the count. So let's check in on Mission Control and keep those audio channels up in case we hear more. But otherwise, again, we are resetting the clock and likely targeting a new launch attempt at 2:21 p.m. local time.
Cool. Well, we'll listen in. Okay, so the Neutron fairings basically... but they could only really work in the subsonic region, potentially. And I don't know if it's worth it to, he basically dismissed it as like not really worth it, And I think the reason is, if you think about it, by the time you're subsonic, you're probably only bleeding off a small, we'll say 10% or something. And to beefing those things up to act as air brakes probably adds more mass than it would cost in fuel for propellant margin. So last I knew that was the case, but I don't know. I always thought that'd be super cool to open them up as an air brake as well. But
Okay, as you can see in the top left-hand corner of your screen there, the clock has reset, and we're counting down from T-minus 22 minutes, 8 seconds, and counting until our next launch attempt at 2:21 p.m. local time.
Cool. All right, this is from Astro Joe. Can't wait to join you on the RGV St. Jude stream. Thanks, Tim. Yes, I will be joining RGV's St. Jude fundraising stream. I don't remember what the date is. Maybe the 15th or something. That rings a bell. But yeah, I'll be hopping on air for a little bit and say hi to me there. That'll be very fun. Always love what RGV does. Let's see. Let's keep answering questions. So from Benjamin Rick Donaldson, is electric pump fed kind of like the MGU-H on Formula One cars, or MGU-K, I think. Well, MGU-K might be the part that harnesses the energy from the latent heat. But so I actually, to be honest, the MGU-H, MGU-K stuff on Formula One cars really have confused me, and I've tried figuring it out. I need to watch more videos on it or something, but I don't even think they're a hybrid system in the traditional sense. I'm pretty sure they more or less use I guess in that case, what I was about to say, yeah, pretty sure they just use the motor, the electric motor, to help spin the turbocharger. So not just using the exhaust gases, but so in that case, yeah, that's exactly what it is using
to all operators, LD and mission code, just another heads up. We have set an EG0 right at the end of the window. We're currently T-minus 20 minutes and 28 seconds and counting.
Okay, so H is the turbo, K is the brake power, and then the energy back into the tires. There we go. Thank you so much. Yes. Okay, SkyTub. Thank you. Appreciate that extra insight. So yeah, so the MGU-H would indeed then be the electric motor that assists spooling up the turbocharger. And so yeah, it's almost exactly that same type of thing. Use a electric motor.
As we can see, the clock has been reset and is counting down once again. Electron is still destined for space today. We are now at T-minus 19 minutes and 51 seconds until liftoff.
Okay, fingers crossed. James says, how do they fix carbon if it cracks? Wasn't that the problem with the whole OceanGate? Well, OceanGate had a lot of problems. It's dealing with so much greater stress to go down to the depths of the ocean than you deal with the differential of stress here. There's more there might be more structural. No, not even close still. The stress dealing with going down to the bottom of the ocean is insane. And the big thing is there's a lot of cycling. So you go from really high stress to not. They also, music. They also left it out in the rain, and then it froze, and that rain and ice helped break up the carbon fiber bonds in the OceanGate Titan or whatever it's called. This is a lot different, and yeah, it's actually a lot lighter, a lot lower load cases compared to going to the bottom of the ocean. So it's a lot easier in that sense, and that's why most people thought it was really crazy to try to do a submersible using carbon fiber, and it seems like that's kind of been the consensus ever since. Let's see here. Hey, Tim, will you plan to do another tour of another rocket factory with a different CEO like you did with Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos? Well, guess what? Yes. I actually have already done one, and we're in the middle of the approval process of the edit. So there'll be a decent amount of work after that. That will come out here in the next week or two, hopefully. So stand by. It's a company that I really, 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 really like, and that you guys really, really, really like. And as soon as I can talk about it, I will. I maybe have mentioned. I've definitely hinted at it on streams and on online. So, yeah, it's great. I can't wait. Let's see here. This is from D-Rack Richards. Dr. A. Richards. There we go. How about that? Thanks, Tim and team, for the awesome coverage. Love Rocket Lab launches. Can't wait for Neutron Go Team Space. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Let's see. Oh, it's stuck doing that again. Hopefully that's not me. Let me do that old trick where you put the thing into like just a little bit faster in case it gets behind. Then it catches up. See, look at that. Oh, look at that. We're fast forwarding through time. Hey, this is great. And now we're caught up. Okay, well, that worked a little. Oh, and then it's glitching out now. Probably just remove the entire buffer. Let's see here, though. What were we asking? Someone asked, how often do I stream? What I've always pretty much done is once a month. Sometimes more, sometimes less. And sometimes just depending on travel schedules and what other things are going on in life, it's a lot less. Like sometimes it'll be once every 3 months or so. But pretty well done about once a month this year. So, yeah, just sort of when it makes sense to. And I still, the thing is, I still like to stream. It's just that nowadays I can't cover every launch. I don't want to cover every launch. When I started doing this, I would be lucky if there's a launch a month. And so that was sort of my original schedule. It was like, oh, about once a month, this is perfect. You know, this is fun and I can enjoy it. If it was more than that, I wouldn't get anything else done because I'd just be doing the live streams. And I think it's fun to pop in and watch stuff and hang out every now and then, but not every time with there being 150 some SpaceX launches this year. Oh, here we go.
At T-minus 15 minutes, 43 seconds and counting until liftoff for our 19th Electron launch. Now we have another gate to pass before liftoff, and that will be a second T12 minute poll. Now this is when all operators in mission and range control will assess the vehicle and ground systems to determine that we are still go for flight today.
What we want to hear is, of course, greens across the board. So a few minutes until that poll, so let's keep an ear out for those calls.
Cool. That's about what we expect. So they'll pop back in here around T-minus, it's in about 3 minutes or so for the countdown or for the go no go poll. Liam the Rocket Nerd wants to know, will the album be on Amazon Music? Yes, my new full-length album titled Direct to Orbit will be available on all streaming platforms, just like it always has. That's kind of how these distribution things work, is you basically put it out there. For those of you unaware, it's been over 2 years now since I started the first song. And in a world of like, not to go on some kind of like generative AI rant or anything, but you know, I take pride and I have a lot of pleasure making music, and it's taken a lot of time and effort. And that was a really big thing for me this summer, is I set aside a full week one day and then almost every night for about 2 months is working on music. So and then just this November, we spent 10 days in production, so tracking real drums instead of just programmed drums. And then I worked with two producers, a producer and an engineer, and really helped get it to be awesome. And I'm so excited to have new music. It ranges. This whole album is like a big, like from high energy and happy to kind of like the slower, more, you know, epic stuff. I'm releasing the song, one of the songs that people have been asking about that's on this, on live streams for Rocket Lab. On Rocket Lab's stream, we called it Slow Orbit. I think we're renaming that to, I don't remember what that one's, Liquid Cargo is I think what we're calling that one now. Slow Orbit just didn't quite make sense. I don't know. That's the main thing I have to decide at this point, besides getting the artwork finished and stuff like that. But hopefully it'll finally be done. Singles should be out here this month for sure. Hopefully both singles out. And then it'll be kind of a waterfall release. So there'll be a pre-save thing. So get ready. It's going to be great. I promise it's like 1,000 times better than my previous stuff, because it's the first time since I've been doing this. I used to play music and play in bands all the time, but this is the first time I've spent high effort and high energy and actually wanted to do it right. So I'm really excited. It'll be really good. Jeb wants to know, what's the significance of this launch? Not really much. Just I haven't been able to catch a Rocket Lab launch in a long time. I wanted to. I'm free tonight, so I was like, let's watch. I was going to watch myself, and then I figured might as well watch with a bunch of you guys. They're launching a satellite, so nothing too crazy. Dan Smith wants to know, have we had the pointy end up flaming and down check? Yes, we did. But this is another great opportunity. I can confirm, as I know they'll probably talk about it in mission control there, that the pointy end is still up and the flaming end is down. So that is fantastic. Hey, this is awesome from Jacob Keaton. Thank you so much. Really, really appreciate that. When are you doing a Wallops/Rocket Lab tour? It's been in the talks. I've definitely we want to do something when Neutron gets to the pad is kind of my goal. And I've.
We are proceeding now with the go/no-go sequence, starting off with stage.
Stages go.
Avionics.
Let's go.
GNC.
GNC's go.
Recon.
VCon is go.
T1.
T1 is go.
GC.
GC is go.
PLS.
PLS is go.
RSO.
RSO is go.
MET.
Met is go.
MM.
Is go.
LD sub.
LD sub go.
The go/no-go sequence is complete. We're currently T-minus 11 minutes and 19 seconds and counting. We go for terminal count order sequence at T-minus 10 minutes. From this time, the freeware procedure is in effect.
Okay. Well, that's great news. Yeah. Looks like I think we filled in a few seats. I don't know if that...
Great news there from Mission Control. That is greens across the board for our T-minus 12-minute go/no-go poll. And if you take a look at that clock, we are now T-minus 10 minutes, 45 seconds and counting to our liftoff attempt today.
Cool. I like that. So, yeah, we've been in talks, and hopefully we'll have a tour out when Neutron gets ready to go to the pad or gets to the pad. That is the goal. STEZACE says, 3D printed confuses me. What is it made out of? So the engines are actually made out of metal. There's still an alloy, a metal alloy, where you do basically powder, and then they laser fuse and like laser weld the combustion chamber, like layer by layer by layer. So it ends up being is additive manufacturing.
GCLD on mission code.
LDGC.
Proceed with sequence 58, pad terminal checks.
Copy sequence 58 in work.
Hopefully that's not a hold sequence. All things space 2024. Why do the payload fairings open that way when it's disposable? That for Neutron, the booster's not. The booster, which the fairing's attached to, will land, so they'll recover that portion of Neutron with those fairings. That's why they stay attached. Let's see. So yeah, metal engines. They're metal. I don't know what exact alloy. Likely some kind of...
Stage 1 igniter pressures verified. Hydraulic pressures verified. LDGC on mission.
GCLD.
Pad terminal checks complete.
Cool.
Copy, thank you.
Okay, that's good news. It's funny because in some ways, you know...
Avionics LD on mission code.
LD Avionics.
Proceed with sequence 59, avionics terminal checks.
Copy in work.
In some ways, Rocket Labs, you know, the Electron, it's tiny, but like, still a good-sized rocket. You know, it's still 18 meters tall, only 1.3 meters wide, so about 4
Has been
feet
switched
wide.
to high power for flight.
Stage LD on mission code.
LD stage.
Proceed with sequence 60, stage terminal checks.
Copy sequence 60 in work.
Okay.
Stage 1 and Stage 2 high voltage battery ready for flight.
Sweet.
Hold.
Oh, shoot. Hold. That means it's going to be scrubbed. Scrubbed for the day.
And to all operators, we just called in hold, and we're proceeding with the abort actions.
Shoot. I don't know if they'll tell us why, but there we go.
We heard it there from Mission Control. There's another hold that's been called in the count. So at T-minus 8 minutes and 7 seconds, we're pausing here as operators assess how to move forward.
This will be a scrub. That officially pushes them outside of their window. A hold. As if you've watched the range video, all about range, hold on the nets means we're done. That means scrap. Not scrap. That means scrap the launch, yeah. So when you hear that on comms like that, they're done. So unfortunately, this will not launch today. Hopefully their next launch attempt is tomorrow. We'll wait to hear officially why or what they talk about, and I'll answer a few more questions and I'll get out of your hair, including this one from Not My Name 4790. Is there still a plan to reuse Electron, or is that plan subsided to prioritize Neutron? Yep, basically they seem to be going more effort into Neutron, get that flying sooner rather than later. As soon as that's flying and operating smoothly, the idea of reusing an Electron, I think the margins were just so small on Electron reuse anyway, it was barely worth it in the first place. But then especially when you factor in like any work put into recovering and reusing Electron kind of takes away resources and takes away from Neutron launching. So the sooner the better. And you got a super chat for that too. Thank you so much, Not My Name. I appreciate that. Hopefully I answered your question all right. Thank you very much. So Scott, that's what I'm hoping to hear on is, because it's delayed today, when is their next launch opportunity? Is it something that they can reset for tomorrow? So not sure. I will be, I'll be watching. Where are they launching from? This is from Māhia Peninsula in New Zealand. One of the launch complex. This is 1A. So one of the most beautiful launch sites in the world. Between this and I think the is it called the Andoya launch site where Spectrum launched from and up there in Norway. That was another one that was like, whew, that's a really, really pretty launch site. So they can fight it out. Let's see. When is the next in-person launch live stream? It's either going to be Starship version 3, so Flight 12, or it's going to be Artemis 2, whichever comes first. Those are the next two we kind of have on our plate. What's my top launch for Q1 next year? Ooh.
Okay, with the limited time remaining in the window today, we won't be able to recycle for another launch attempt, so we are standing down from today's launch.
So with that, we'll be ending today's broadcast too. But the good news is we have plenty of backup opportunities in the coming days, so we'll be back again soon for our 19th Electron launch this year. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you back here soon. This is Rocket Lab Mission Control, signing off.
Yep, we knew that. That's all right. That is all right. I'll answer a few more questions, and then we'll get on out here. Actually, do you guys want to hear a little sneak peek of a song? Would that be something you guys want to do? Do you care? Do you care? If you don't care, I don't want to waste your time. But if you do care, we can do that. We don't have anything else going on now. I mean, I'm going to answer a few more questions, and I'm going to get out of here and get back to work. There you go. So let me put a little scrub thing here. Scrubbed and save. And I'll also put this in hold or whatever. And yeah. Okay, there you go. Yes, please. Okay, let's do it. I don't know how loud to make it because it's going to be coming just from a thing. But let's see. What do we want to... Do you guys want to hear the new version of what used to be called Slow Orbit? Because it's finally like... When I gave it to Rocket Lab, I don't know, 5-6 years ago, however long that was, it was just like a very rough version of the song. Would you want to hear like that? We have other ones that are, I think, better than that, but I think it is fun to hear the difference because it's changed a lot. Cryo, I'm re-releasing a version of Cryo called Cryogenic now because it's properly recorded with real instruments and not just a bunch of programmed drums and stuff like that. Let's see, Slow Orbit, New Cryo. Okay, we have New Cryo. We have Slow Orbit. Let's see. Ooh. Let's see. I'm hearing Jeb and Liam both said Cryo, so I think we'll do Cryo. I'll give you guys a little taste of New Cryo. I'm gonna fast forward to like the part that kind of matters. Let me know if you can hear this. Okay. By the way, this is not mastered yet. I think mix is done, but not mastered, so it'll just get better from here. to who said needs more rocket, this next part actually has a little sample that we pitched, shifted to make it rocket. So, yes, real guitars. There's always been real guitars in my music, just not real drums, and it's not been like, you know, professionally mixed and mastered and stuff. So that's what's gonna be different this time. Still not mastered, but mixed. So, I'll give you a little sneak peek too then of Liquid Cargo, which was called Slow Orbit before. I'll fast forward a little bit. You'll recognize this if you've listened to Rocket Lab live streams. You will have heard this. Here, I'll get to like the part that you recognize. Like this has been in the background of their coast phases. Used to be called Slow Orbit. I think we're gonna call it Liquid Cargo now. But you'll see it changes a lot, and I like it way better. Kind of crazy. It changes a lot. Big fat change. Really excited about that. I still think you guys have heard this one a lot probably, but it's finally done. I've used this in like little sneak peeks and stuff, or like little video teasers and stuff online, but this change is so much better. Again, real drums does everything. You'll see. That one already probably, but Really excited for that. I'll keep it going in the background. I'll answer a few more questions, then I'm going to get out of here. It's din-din time for this guy. Yeah, I'm really excited. Someone asked, am I going to be playing these live? Guess what? I will be playing these live at Astro Awards. I've been playing live the last 2 years at Astro Awards, as well as Scott Manley DJing. So if you want to come hear these songs live, it'll probably end up being, at this point, it'll probably end up being the album release. January 17th and 18th, we'll be playing live. So it'll be awesome. Hope we can see you guys there. Austin, Texas, get your tickets. AstroAwards.live. Come hang out. You've probably heard this one before. Yeah. All right, let's keep answering a few more questions. Any news on who will be at the Astro Awards? How you doing, Nathan? Yes, we're gonna release that lineup here. I think by the end of the week, we'll start doing like individual panels. So familiar faces for sure. One thing I'm really looking forward to is we're going to have like a fun quiz show thing that was going to be some of your favorite personalities in a quiz versus each other. So Scott Manley's going to be there. Joe Bernard can confirm that he's going to be there. We'll have Eric Berger, Lori Garver, Zyla Foxlin. Yeah, we'll announce more, and especially as like we have more about who, like which missions will win. So, Charlie W, thank you so much for the super chat. Do I have a date on my KSP stream? I do not yet. I was going to do it when I released the album, and it might be slipping into January at this point, just because of publishing dates. But I'll try to get it out as soon as possible and stream when it does come out. We'll just do a party, or maybe we'll do like a preview party where it's in the background, and then it releases from there. Will Neutron launch from Cape Canaveral? No plans for that yet that I know of. Liam the Rocket Nerd. Do you think Rocket Lab will discontinue Electron when Neutron comes online? There'll be a phase. Like there'll be at some point a down ramp where it doesn't make sense to fly Electron, and an up ramp as Neutron flights become common, and yeah, you'll see that convergence. You'll see. I'm sure there'll be a 3 to 5 year crossover though, where the two are flying, within the same time frame. Hey, looking awesome, Float Globe guy here. Looking forward to Astro Awards. Me too. I'm really excited you're going to be there. It's going to be great to meet you and check out Float Globes. I'm excited. Late night in Sweden. That is a late night in Sweden. You are up too late. Go to bed, Peter. Too late. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching. Thanks for the super chat. Nice, Eric, dude. 60 months today. 5 years of content. That is awesome. Really, really appreciate that. Ongoing support. Really, really, really appreciate it. Will the album be coming out on vinyl? I don't have any plans to, just because that takes so long. I just have no idea to gauge like how many people would actually buy vinyl. If it ends up being like, maybe we do a pre-order or something. I don't know. I didn't plan to do that at album release, but maybe we will do like a special release or something. But yeah, that's it. We're all caught up, and hopefully you guys caught a little mini sneak peek of some new songs. And that's it. That's it for me. I'm gonna wrap up. What's that called? Turn off the computer. Is that what that's called? Yes. Yes, it is. All right. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Really appreciate all of you that watched just a random stream of what was ended up being a Rocket Lab scrub. So, all right. That's going to do it for me. I'm Tim Dodd, the Everyday Astronaut, bringing space under there for everyday people. If it still is before this weekend, basically, or whatever, I don't know when, assuming it's like tomorrow, I'll re-stream this again. So, we'll see you then. Bye, everybody.